Okay, exam review. So for homework, you had to do this first page, number 1 to 12. Tonight's homework would be page 2, 13 to 22. Right? We only have, not including today, 2 classes left. So that's why it's a page a day. So by Tuesday, you will have been done everything. We did a lot of EQAO practice with a multiple choice. But this package, make sure you do this package because this will help with the exam. This is the full solution stuff. So notice I'm showing all my steps, doing step by step. That's what you should be doing to practice. So number 1 right here, this was from chapter 1. You had to change each of these mixed number into an improper fraction. So multiply, add, you get this. And then remember when you divide fractions, you have to keep, change, and flip. So keep the first fraction, change it to multiply, and flip the second fraction. Once you have that, you just multiply across, and you get the improper fraction. As I said, on your final exam, you do have to change it back into a mixed number. So long division, how many times does 27 goes into 208? It goes in 7 times with a remainder of 17. So that's your mixed number. Okay, on the exam, mixed number if it's an improper fraction. One thing as well, people like to make that negative sign disappear. Okay, don't make that silly mistake. Number 2, chapter 2, fraction equals fraction. You just have to do the 2 steps, cross multiply and divide. So 4x equals 60, and then divide it, you get 15. Numbers chapter 3, you guys did exponent rules. So when you multiply, you add the exponents. When you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you multiply. So you get the 6. And then when you divide, you subtract it. Okay, so you get x to the 8. You can only apply the exponent rule if it's the same base. Don't forget that. Okay, so your base could be a fraction, your base could be a variable, your base could be just a number. You can only combine them if they are the same base. So if there's an x and a y or a 2 and a 3, you cannot. Okay. Number 4, the algebra that we talked about, that you had to know what to do. Distribute, distribute. So you get 2x plus 10. I have variables on both sides. So move all the letter terms to the left. And when you move it, you have to change the sign. Move all the number terms to the right. So when you move it, you change the sign. Okay. So then 2x plus 8x, you get 10x, not 10x squared. 2 apples plus 8 apples is still an apple. So 10 apples, 10x. And then negative 22. When you divide it, you get this. So from here, you should actually go straight to this, your mixed number. Okay. If you reduce it to this, it's still an improper fraction. So if it's an improper fraction, make sure you go to a mixed number. If it's just a regular fraction, make sure you reduce. Okay, so that is number 4. Number 5. All right, number 5. Linear means a line, so degree 1. So here, your variable has an exponent of 1, your y has an exponent of 1, so this is linear. Nonlinear means a curve, so degree 2 or more. And for example, x squared. Okay, what type of graph is this called?
Parabola.
Parabola. Okay, you will learn about parabolas in grade 10. Okay, grade 9 is all about lines. Grade 10 is all about parabolas. Grade 11, functions.
One's convex.
Huh?
Convex.
Calculus? Yeah. Okay. Number 6, you have to write the equation of a line so you know it's in the form y equals mx plus b. So when your slope is 1/3 and your b is negative 3, you just put it in. I do not want to see 1/3 x plus minus 3. If you write plus minus 3, you will lose half a mark. All right. 6b, this formula, do you have to memorize this formula? Yes. Okay, but it's not so hard to memorize because you know rise over run. So rise is the difference in x or y? Y, yeah. So the rise is your y value, so the difference in y. Over run, your run is the difference in your x value. So that's all it really is. So when you plug in the numbers on your coordinate, don't forget the negatives. Okay, be careful with the negatives. So when you simplify it, you get -3. Okay. Once you have the slope, you can choose one of the points. So in this case, I chose -1, 1 as my point. So I have my x value, I have my y value, I have my m value. So I simplify it, move it over to solve for b. So now that I have b, I have m, I can sub it into my equation. Right? As I said, you will see a question like this on the exam. I told you guys since the linear relation unit, given 2 points, find the equation of a line. Okay, and then last one, rearranging the equation. What is this form called? Yeah, standard form. What is this form called? Y equals mx plus b is the our, I don't know, the cheating way of, it's not the formal name, slope-intercept form, right? Okay, so if the question says rewrite in slope-intercept form, it just means y equals mx plus b. Okay, so rearrange it, move that 6x over, you get -6x, divide everything by -3, you get the positive 2x and -4. Again, cleaning up the signs, so I shouldn't see a plus minus. Okay, so if the line here has a slope of 2, the perpendicular slope would mean it has a negative reciprocal, so -1/2. Right? And the new line has a slope, has a y-intercept of -5. So when you put it together, this is your equation of the second line. Okay. Number 7, you're given a motion graph. You're given the motion graph like this. Don't forget to include distance, time, and direction when you do a motion graph question. Distance divided by time is what? What's distance divided by time? Right? Speed, right. So if you want to be lazy, you could just tell me the speed and direction. What is speed and direction? No, what is speed plus direction is, think science. Velocity. Okay, so basically for any motion graph, you have to talk about the velocity. Not just speed, not just distance, not just time, not just direction, velocity. Velocity. Okay, so I could set it up this way. So for segment A right here, A, B, C, segment A, 400 meters, 10 minutes. So when I divide it for speed, I get 40 meters per minute. Direction-wise, I'm not going downhill, I'm going towards home. Okay, so if I want to be lazy, I could just say section A has a speed of 40 meters per minute towards home. B, you stop. Don't forget, you talked about the distance, but you have to talk about the time. So how long? For 15 minutes. And then C, same thing. All right. Looking at these two segments, which one is faster? A or C? Sorry, A. Why? Rate of change is greater. By just looking at the lines, it is steeper, right? The steeper it is, the faster it's going. Okay. For B right here, number 8, when we did Pythagorean theorem and angles, it's a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle. By now, I think I drilled it in your head that you have to do Pythagorean theorem. All right. So I only gave you C. I don't know what A and B is, so I'm going to call it X. So x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. So to solve for x now, you have to divide it by 2 and then square root it. So x is 17.7 meters. Okay, your unit is meter because we're talking about the length. Y and Z are angles. So if you know this is as 90-degree angle and it's an isosceles triangle, that means this has to be 45 degrees. Right? Because reason, isosceles. And when you subtract it from the 45, you'll get the supplementary angle, which is 135. Right? And this is how you spell supplementary. Okay. Okay. Number 9 right here. Number 9, you have a bunch of triangles which are in ratio of each other, equal ratio. So if this is 40, what is this length right here? If this is 40, what is this length? Yeah, 20. And if this is 40, then this is 80. Yeah, so it is proportional in a triangle like this where the lengths are the same. All right, so since this is 40, this is 80, and so here 32 times 4, you get 128. So 128 and 80, do Pythagorean theorem, you get 100. So that means each of those sections is 25. All right. Yep.
How did you know that it increases by 20?
Oh, because notice it's proportional. So like this is kind of like it's like the median rule. Like when we talked about median of a triangle. Did we talk about median of a triangle? No. Okay. Yeah. It's taken out of the curriculum, but I think it's
What's the median again?
like yeah, line segment of a median. If you go in the Brightspace, you'll see that extension. Like I did put by medians in there as one of the sections. Yeah, I even did like a centroid. Yeah, so that's actually moved to grade 10. But if you are interested, the notes for it is there.
Can you just use similar triangles for proof?
Yeah, it's also similar triangle, and similar triangle is grade 10. That's why.
In grade 10, do they also cover the length of the median formula?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can think of it as similar triangle because you know that this angle right here is 90 degrees and this angle is going to be equal to this angle. And so because of similar triangles, you know that it's proportional. Right? Because the angles are equal. All right, number 10. What shape gives the maximum area?
Square.
Square, right? Thank you for putting your hand up. Alright, so you know that a square will give you the maximum area. So if you have a perimeter of 40 divided by 4, that means it's a 10 by 10 square. Right, number 11, you are given a composite figure and you have to find the area and perimeter. Alright, so let's see. So what's the diameter of my circle here? Kenta? How did you know?
Just double the
Right. If my radius is 4, that means my diameter is 8, which is my height in this case. So to find the area of this triangle, it's going to be base times height divided by 2. So base is 10, height is 8, divided by 2. So the triangle is 40. What's my unit? Meters square. Okay. And then I have half a circle. What's the formula for a half circle? Armin?
pi
Pi r squared divided by 2. That took you a second there. So on the exam, you can just use 3.14. You don't have to use the pi button because in case some people, not you guys, but in case some people don't have their calculator and they don't have that pi button. All right, so 3.14 times the radius, which is 4 squared, divided by 2. So you get 3.14 times 16 divided by 2. You get 25. We'll round it to the nearest whole. Okay, so then the area total will be 65 meter square. Okay. To find the perimeter. Alright, to find the perimeter, right angle triangle, I'm finding the hypotenuse. So C equals the square root of 10 plus the 8. Okay, so 100 plus 64, square root 164. Square root 164, so C is 12.8. What's my unit here for my hypotenuse? Just meters, because I'm talking about a length. Okay, I want the circumference. I want the circumference of the circle. Okay, what's the formula for circumference of a circle? Joshua? 2 pi r. But since I only want half a circle, divided by 2. And then what happens to the 2 and the 2? It cancels out. So so just this pi r. So 3.14 times pi times r. So the circumference of that circle, 3.14 times 4, 12.56. Okay. So now looking at this, what should I add up? It's a common mistake for some people. So I know that the arc is 12.56. Okay, Joshua? Right, so I should only add the 12.56 plus the 10 plus the hypotenuse, which is 12.8. Should I add in the 8 right here? Why not? It's inside, right? Perimeter is the outside only. So only the outside. So I know that I see a semicircle, but one common mistake that people do is they see the two shapes, and then they calculate the perimeter of the semicircle, they calculate the perimeter of the triangle, and then they add it together. So in fact, they added 16. They added they add 16 instead. Yeah, because they added both. It's even worse. Alright, so only calculate area. When you do area, you can do it separately and put it together. Perimeter, don't do it separately and then put it together. You are just looking at the overall outside. Okay, that's a very common mistake. So here, perimeter, you get 30. Let's round it to the nearest, so 35. Okay. Last one, find the surface area and volume of a cone with a radius of 12 and a height that is double the radius. I don't know the formula for this. What should I do? I don't know the formula.
Memorize.
Okay.
There's other things you can memorize. Jimmy.
It's a conveniently provided piece of paper or formulas on it.
Good, I love that answer. Formula sheet for geometry is provided. Okay, so even right here, when you had to do the circumference of a circle, it is provided. Okay, you don't have to memorize any geometry. Yeah, I want to say geometry and geometric. So new vocab for you guys. So yes, so you are given the formula. Don't memorize it because sometimes I don't trust your memory. Alright, so hey, if it's given, use it. So volume of a cone. Find the surface area and volume of a cone with radius and a height that is double the radius. Oh, so basically 24. Alright, so let's draw that cone. Alright, my radius is 12 millimeter and the height is doubled, so the height is 24. Why didn't I just say so? Okay, so volume pi r square h divided by 3. So 3.14 times 12 square times 24 divided by 3. Okay, 3.14 times 12 times 12 times 24 divided by 3. 3,617.3. What is my unit? Cube. Kenta, you just lost half a mark there. Okay, easy marks. Don't lose these easy marks. Surface area of a cone. Pi r squared plus pi rs. Right, I think that's the formula. 3.14 times 12 squared plus 3.14 times 12 times s. What's s again? Slant. Am I given the slant? No. So what do I have to do? Calculate it. Pythagorean theorem. Whenever I'm not given something, it's always Pythagorean theorem. Since I'm looking for the slanted height, I'm doing the adding one. Alright, so 12 squared plus 24 squared, square rooted. So my slanted height is 26.8. Wait. Let me finish this. This is my last one. Wait. Be nice. 26.8. Hey, you get 1,462 after we round it to the nearest tenths. So that makes it 2. What's my unit? Kenta? Millimeter square. Your homework tonight, page 2, number 13 to 22. So you have a whole weekend to do 10 questions. You can do it. Okay?